Good evening. My name is Sharice Vickers, and I am the Executive Director of the City of Newburgh Industrial Development Agency. Today, I'm holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to a proposed amendments to the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, which I will refer to as the policy. Section 874 of the New York General Municipal Law requires that the agency establish a uniform tax exemption policy with input from affected taxing jurisdictions, and the agency is therefore holding this public hearing on proposed amendments to the policy. The agency authorized this public hearing by resolution number 2025-06-30-06. The comments received today at this public hearing will be presented to the members of the agency at or prior to the meeting at which the members of the agency will consider whether to approve the amended policy. Written comments. I did receive one written comment, which I will read, and it states, IDA Director and Board, having reviewed many project proposals and even been on the developer side of proposals in the further past, my public comment / suggestion to the current UTEP revisions is to include the requirement of not only, 1, a cost-benefit analysis by an independent expert, 2, but also a test of reasonableness to be performed for every application, not just a deviation or one that is triggered by an event or a proposed increase in the amount or term of an application's financial assistance. 3, I would also suggest that the independent expert / authority / consultant engaged to analyze the applications and produce these reports be alternated so that there are always fresh independent eyes on the local level of benefits given and adherence to this UTEP policy. Per the previous and current UTEP, in the event of a proposed increase in the amount of terms of its financial assistance, the agency will review and conduct its own benefit analysis to determine the need for any such deviation and total pilot value, which shall include financial documentation, including a comparison of the project's performance under the standard abatements described in the pilot schedule table versus proposed abatement, an explanation of the financial assumptions used in the analysis, operational budget versus capital cost of project, additional documentation relating to whether, but for such assistance, the project would never move forward, and public infrastructure costs and impacts, example, school district. To simply quote AI, there are many benefits to a required test of reasonableness. The test of reasonableness benefits industrial development agencies and their communities by ensuring that public benefits outweigh the costs of granting incentives to private projects. By mandating a thorough cost-benefit analysis and due diligence, the reasonableness test promotes accountability, prevents abuse, and aligns IDA assistance with the public interest. Benefit for taxpayers and the public. It ensures public return on investment. The reasonableness test helps confirm that the benefits of an IDA project, such as new jobs, increased tax revenue, and economic growth, outweigh the value of the tax exemptions and abatements provided to the private developer, discourages corporate welfare. A rigorous analysis prevents public funds from being used to subsidize projects that would have proceeded even without government assistance. This is often referred to as the but-for test, which questions whether the project would be undertaken but for the IDA's financial help. Promotes accountability, requiring a documented, transparent assessment of costs versus benefits holds IDA boards accountable to the public. The process typically involves public hearings and disclosures of the project's projected impact, allowing for public review and commentary. Prevents abuse. The test prevents IDA benefits from being awarded based on unreliable information. It ensures that agencies do not accept applicants' statements at face value and instead performs due diligence to verify key claims. Benefits for IDA boards and governance. It guides informed decision-making. A formal reasonableness test provides IDA boards with a structured, data-driven process for evaluating projects. It provides a consistent framework to analyze and compare various projects rather than relying on subjective or incomplete information. It legitimizes the process. The application of a clear and consistent standard helps legitimize the controversial practice of providing tax subsidies to private entities. It demonstrates that the IDA is operating in the public interest rather than simply accommodating developers. It reduces legal risk by following a well-documented process that includes a reasonableness test. IDAs can reduce their legal exposure to claims of improperly or arbitrarily granting financial assistance. It offers negotiation leverage. The analysis gives IDA boards leverage to negotiate stronger project terms, such as job creation and retention commitments, and to include clawback provisions that can terminate or recapture benefits if a company fails to meet its commitments. The elements of a reasonableness test for IDA benefits. To achieve these benefits, a reasonableness test typically includes a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis that evaluates a project based on factors like financial modeling, estimating project performance with and without IDA benefits, benchmarking, comparing the project's financial returns to market benchmarks to confirm that the financial system is necessary, not excessive, job impact, assessing the quantity, quality, and retention of jobs to be created, municipal revenue, projecting the net effect on local and tax revenues, accounting for the foregone taxes due to incentives, and community considerations, evaluating intangible community benefits and how they align with local economic development goals. Thank you for your consideration. Christina Amato, City of Newburgh resident and former IDA board member. I have not received any other letters. I will now open this public hearing for public comment at 6:45 p.m. By way of operating rules, if you wish to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I will call on you and state your name and your address for the record. Do we have anybody that would like to make a public comment? There you go. We'll take it down.
Dennis Grant, 3 Forsyth Place in Newburgh. The IDA, the new UTEP, it appears to represent a turning point for Newburgh. For far too long, developers have come in, collected tax breaks, and left us with broken promises. That era appears to be ending. The policy now puts greater risk on developers. That's good. If they fall or fail to create the jobs they promised, fail to finish construction on time, or fail to deliver the public benefits they pledged, their tax breaks can be clawed back. That's a question. That means penalties enforced, exemptions revoked, and accountability restored. Question. The rules are also tough on deadlines, it appears, and enforcement, yes? Developers will have firm time frames to complete construction, improve real job creation. If those milestones aren't met, benefits will be reduced or terminated, correct? No more open-end deals. Our city finally has leverage. That's with a question mark. Equally important, this policy demands closer scrutiny of public benefits. Vague claims won't cut it anymore. Developers must prove how their projects use local labor, how many jobs they bring, what wages they'll pay, and what real improvements our community will see. Those details will matter more than ever, and they will be written into every agreement. Question. Now, this doesn't mean we're shutting the doors on investment, and that's good. In fact, projects in priority sectors like clean and renewable energy and manufacturing and hopefully technology can still receive favorable treatment. That's a question. If a project brings significant public benefits, such as revitalization, abandoned property, or creating dozens of sustainable jobs, it may qualify for longer exemptions or more flexible terms. That's what it appears. So the message is clear. For all the developers, if you want to invest in Newburgh, you must invest in its people. The days of speculative development without accountability are over. From now on, development here will not just be about buildings, about jobs, fairness, and a better future for our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. You can also just sign in there, and that way I'll have your information. You have any? Yep. Jonathan, thank you.
Good evening, Jonathan Gatzik, 2 Park Place, Newburgh. I just wanted to see if you guys could clarify at some point what commercial means within the context of a mixed-use project, and whether non-resident artist lofts that are pure workspaces without any residential component would be considered commercial for purposes of a pilot. It wasn't clear from what I read. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind to just sign that too. All right. If there are no further comments, then I will now close this public hearing at 6:49 p.m. Thank you.